Hello again. This is Will Goodwin, and welcome to another Author's Corner, where I shed some light on different subjects pertaining to the reason verse. Today's question is, what inspiration was behind the military structures and alliances that appear in my books of the reason? I knew from the beginning there were going to be militias. That's a given. There are militias around as I speak. Not all militias share the same ideals. Like people, they have their own beliefs and their own ways of doing things. That's human nature. I wanted to show that there was friction before the secession and the invasion, but by the time the invasion happens, they are a unified force for good and for all Americans who support a constitutional republic. I needed a way to bring them together, though, under one leader, under one banner. So now I've got four different groups. They all want the same thing, but they don't see it. That's where Leonidas comes in. He shows them something simple, that the love of freedom, the bedrock of America, is what they have in common. That and the hope for the survival of the Republic. I pulled inspiration from history, like William Wallace, George Washington, and yes, Leonidas and his Spartans. Different cultures, pretty much totally different times, but the same fight, standing in the gap against overwhelming odds to win their freedom. So I created a leader who doesn't stand above his people, but stands with the people because he is one of them. Led by Leonidas, the militia's main concern is simple: to make sure all Americans have access to their rights under the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Community is the foundation. Building that relationship, that connection, before anything ever happens. This comes from prepper philosophy and from special forces or the Green Berets thinking. It's about being ready, not being paranoid. If something happens in your town, wouldn't it be nice to know who to call and who's standing with you? That work gets done before disaster hits, be it natural or man-made. You build a support system, a community. Bob raises chickens, steady food, eggs. Ruth's a gardener, vegetables. Jason's a carpenter. You want them on your team if the world goes sideways. The Green Berets call it human terrain. People are the most important part of the battlefield. Leonidas understood that. He focuses on Bob and Ruth before he focuses on rifles. The militias protect the communities because at the end of the day, you need a reason to fight. And most of these communities have ties to the militia. Family, friends, neighbors. That's what makes it hold. Each of the four militias control a region of free America, broken down into smaller areas, and it all rolls up under one command. Each militia has its own leadership. Each community does too. And most importantly, there's an oversight committee keeping things in check concerning the militia to prevent power from going sideways. Lastly, Leonidas created a fifth militia, a super unit, so to speak. It was inspired by the Mike Force in Vietnam, a rapid response force that drops in when things are about to collapse. In the Reason verse, this became the mobile militia force. The best of the best, Rangers, SEALs, Delta, Marine Raiders, a hammer, ready to move whenever it's needed most, wherever and whenever. All of this takes time, and it takes effort, and it takes people willing to put differences aside, to focus on what matters, the collective freedom of America, and keeping the people front and center. Because in the end, no one person is more important than another. We're all Americans, and we are strongest united. I think that wraps it up for this author's corner. If you have any questions, send them. I will take a look. It truly takes a community to be successful. Thanks for taking the time to watch another episode. And as always, tribe and family, stand true.